Hi, I'm Barb Bruno, and I want to personally invite you to something that I'm very excited about. I know that negotiations can make or break your success. Anybody that's in the staffing and recruiting or talent acquisition profession, we're negotiating constantly with hiring managers and with candidates. And when we don't know how to effectively negotiate, we're losing deals, we're losing hires. More importantly, we're losing respect and we're losing that long-term relationship that we need to establish with both top talent as well as our hiring managers. And again, this is happening simply because negotiation has changed. I have been studying how to negotiate effectively for over 25 years. I personally love to negotiate. I've done courses for Biz Library. I've done courses that are being used for the CPA program in Canada for soft skills. This is a topic that I train often on. And what I'm realizing in the last year or so is how much it has changed in the job market, how much it has changed in the interviewing and hiring process, even when we negotiate has been changing over the last year or so. So the techniques we used to use, in the past, they're just falling flat today. And I want you to ask yourself, have you had any no-shows? Have you had any no starts? Have you had offer turndowns? Have you had a counter offer? Have you had clients lowball offers? Have you had a hiring process slow down to the point where now you lose the best talent? All those are signs of the inability to negotiate properly when you need to negotiate. The other statistic that's just frightening right now is that up to 60% of new hires are quitting within the first 6 months. I'm sorry, 40% of new hires are quitting within the first 6 months. That's frightening. It was 31%, then it was 35%, now it's going up to 40%, and this number keeps going up. And if you're not negotiating properly, if you're not really uncovering what's most important to everybody throughout your entire process, that's why things are blowing up. And the great thing about this is most of this is preventable if you just knew how to negotiate properly. And that's why I developed the Negotiation Mastery webinar series. This is going to be a series of 3 webinars and they're going to be live. And so I'm going to be interacting with you. You can ask me questions. This is a very interactive type of training that I'm going to do. And I'm not going to just teach you, techniques on negotiation. I'm going to give you scripts. I'm going to give you examples. I'm going to show you exactly what to do where you can all but eliminate problem areas. And when you get an offer, you're going to be excited. You're not going to break out into a sweat. And that's happening too much. If you negotiate properly, you're never going to get a lowball offer. If you negotiate properly with your candidates, they're not going to ghost you. They're not going to disappear. They're not going to turn down offers. And so just think about that. How much better would your life be if all the offers you extended were accepted and they didn't get attracted away by their current employer with a counteroffer? Because you've been talking to them, you knew how to negotiate the whole process throughout your sourcing, interviewing, and placement process. And so I'm going to go into great detail. There's 3 sessions. The first one is going to be how do you prepare for negotiation? I'm always amazed to find out that most people have done little or no preparation when they go into a negotiation. And I'm always the most prepared. Because I know how important preparation is. And so many people view negotiation as almost a conflict, and it's got to be a win win. Can't always be a win win, but doesn't have to be a conflict. It should be very collaborative. It should be something that you are so good at that it's just a natural process that you go through. And then closing. I mean, you are negotiating from the very first time. You're negotiating even when you go to set up an interview with somebody. You're negotiating when you set up your intake session or your meeting with your hiring managers. And so there are so many times, there's 15 specific times that you're negotiating on both sides. And even if you let one or two of those slip through the cracks, that's why deals aren't closing. So if you want to fill more requisitions, if you want to have better relationships with candidates and with hiring managers, and again, I train so you can be more successful. That's the only reason I train. And so I'm very excited about this negotiation 3 webinar series. They will be recorded. You're going to have access to the recording. You're going to have extensive handouts with scripts. Again, when I train, I provide you with a lot of comprehensive detail that you could take with you. And again, you can ask me live questions. And so I would love nothing more than to teach you the new ways of negotiating that are working right now. And I have deep discounted this. Normally, my webinars are $500 a piece when I do webinars. And we're selling this entire series for $399 for everyone in your organization. It could be your recruiting team, it could be your sales team, anybody that's involved in negotiation. And by the way, During this course, you're going to learn negotiation techniques that will not only help you at work, but will help you in your personal life. In our personal lives, we're negotiating constantly in every relationship. Every time we make a purchase, we're negotiating. And so please don't waste any time. We're starting next Tuesday, October 7th. The link is listed. Please click on that and sign up. And I would love nothing more than to interact with you, answer your questions, and make you efficient and make you an expert negotiator starting on October 7th. Hope to see you on our calls. Thanks so much. Have a great day.